Hello, I'm Jomika, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is episode 23. Today, what I think I want to do is head out to Eeloo. If we check out the tracking station, we can see that Eeloo is in a pretty good position for us to head out there. So if we set up Kerbal and Kerbin, Eeloo is right about in the right spot. I think a little bit longer it would be the perfect spot, or maybe a little bit shorter. But it's close enough to where it doesn't really affect us too much. And Jool, I think, needs to be about here. But it's going to take us a lot of travel time to get from here out to here to meet up with Eeloo. So we can probably also send out a mission to Jool. Originally, when I wanted to go to Jool, I wanted to send out a satellite for each of Jool's moons. But I think I want to send the same exact rockets to both Eeloo and Jool. I just did a little, I guess what you can call it is a satellite array of just 3 satellites. So we could set each one of those up on different sides of the planets we're going to. And yeah, we can get that information. I also have a little lander up at the top here. We'll go ahead and zoom in if we can. Yeah, we got this little guy here. He will land on Eeloo. We can probably make him go to another planet, or sorry, another moon near Jool. And I think I want to set these 3 up around Jool if we get to it. So yeah, our first stage here, pretty powerful stuff. We just got tanks on the side. Probably not the best design, but that's what I went with. Give us all this delta V here, get us into orbit, and then eject us from Kerbin's sphere of influence and off to the planets. And then we got our rocket stage here to kind of finish that burn, get us to the planet, get us into orbit. And then we have our different satellite stages. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and jump into a quick time lapse of me building all this stuff, and then after that I'll go into a time lapse us launching the mission to Eeloo. Alright, so this particular episode was kind of riddled with problems from basically the beginning. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but the sound got messed up. I think I reinstalled OBS or something, and it didn't capture any game sounds, so all the gameplay footage that I meant to have sound in didn't have any sound. I think I commented on it at one point saying that the sound was too loud and it just didn't record it, so ignore that part. Yeah, when I was looking at the sound volume or sound levels, it showed that it was picking it up, but it just wasn't recording it for whatever reason. So that is fixed now for next episode, and we shouldn't have any problems from there. And then also quick saves were a problem. Make sure you always do quick saves. Yeah, I crashed a ship and went to reload from a point, and I lost 2 launches, which you'll see in this episode too. I decided to leave it in. I thought about taking it out, but I was like, nah. This is kind of what happens when playing Kerbal Space Program, so I'll just leave it in, let people see the problems I go through also while playing. And yeah, it'll be a little bit longer of an episode because of that, but yeah, it's there and you can watch it. I also plan on doing a modded series finally. I know I've talked about it a few times, but I'm actually going to get started on it very soon, hopefully today actually. I got all the mods installed that I think I want. I may or may not install or remove mods as I go throughout the series. I will have a mod list and everything, so if you guys want to play modded, the same modded I'm playing, you can do that. But I have tested it out. I played on stream for a couple hours just to make sure everything was going all right, and I have all the mods that I wanted. And I think I figured out everything I want. So it's ready and just needs me to start to play. And as far as this series is concerned, I think I'm going to go down to about 1 or 2 episodes per week, just because it's getting a little bit harder to record episodes with work and everything that's going on. And I kind of want to do a little bit better quality videos, get everything in, like music or voiceovers during the time lapses, and that's kind of the part that takes the longest, or at least it's the least enjoyable for me. I just like playing the stuff and getting it out, and when I have a time lapse in, it just kind of makes things a little bit more difficult. I gotta actually edit a video and speed things up, get the voiceovers, pick the music that I want if I want to do it, and then you got to figure out if that music is long enough. Do you repeat the music, or do you get different songs? And it just kind of adds a little bit more complexity to making the videos, and that's not really the part I enjoy about making videos for YouTube. It's the gameplay and showing you guys how I like to play. And yeah, I mean, that's why I watch people play YouTube or games on YouTube, is to see how they play and some free entertainment just while I'm doing work or something like that. And that's kind of what I want to do. That's why I'm doing YouTube. So yeah, a little bit better quality, not as often of videos, especially this far in the series. But I also want to get the modded series out, and doing that is going to take up some time also. So I will have 2 series going for Kerbal Space Program, as well as every now and then I'll have the other series that I have, like Minecraft, maybe some RimWorld eventually, and whatever new games I pick up. And speaking of music and time lapses, I'm going to go ahead and get some music in here, and it'll probably be music for the rest of the time lapses throughout this video. The time lapses that are there are a little bit shorter, so I think they're pretty good for some music. I'll probably just pick 1 or 2 songs and fade them in and out as needed. So go ahead and enjoy the rest of this video, and enjoy the music that I have picked for you guys to listen to. Okay, so we have our almost encounter with Eeloo. It's so small that it's going to be very hard to actually get a direct encounter from this far away, but I fine-tuned our closest approach to synchronous orbit territory, and that'll be a 21.7 meter per second burn over at this maneuver node. So not much of an adjustment at all. It probably won't even be close to the correct apoapsis or periapsis when we get there. But we can readjust that as we get closer again. This will just be the best spot to get it as close as possible for the least amount of delta V. And 21 meters per second is very small, so that'll make it so we actually get an encounter with Eeloo. But while we were burning out to get out here, we came across Jool, and there was an encounter with Jool with this rocket. So we're definitely going to go back to the Space Center. This should save that maneuver node. So when we come back in, what was it, 2 years from now to do that burn, it'll be ready. We'll just have to hibernate. Actually, we probably won't even have to because we have so many solar panels on that thing. No, I don't want vehicle assembly. We want to go back to, I guess we could just launch it from here. Yeah, $216,000 a piece, but a lot of that cost is because it's so heavy and it has huge engines and the big satellites. If we get a little bit more tech, we can get the ion engines. Or if we're just going to send a rover later, we don't have to have this big of a rocket. I really have like a lot of stuff packed into here just to make things easier, and I don't have to send a whole bunch of rockets. But yeah, having 3 satellites on it is good, so we can always have communication no matter where we are around the planet back with Kerbal. We should probably also set up something on Kerbal to do the same thing, because I think all of our satellites around Kerbal are very old. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and launch this, and we'll get this with an encounter of Jool. So we have our 2 satellite rockets in orbit or on their way to the destination. And let's see, we'll go down to the bottom here, select it. This one should actually, we'll click on it. This will be the Jool mission, but we got 2 years until it reaches apoapsis, about 3 years until, almost 4 years until the encounter. We're going to fly this real quick and change it to Jool mission. And while we wait for those, I think I'm going to set up a, what's it called? A satellite relay network. Since we do have the max dishes unlocked now, we can go ahead and do that. We want to rename vessel. This will be Jool mission. We'll just say number 1, and we'll head back out. So we'll go to the Space Center, we'll go to the VAB, and I will design. Do I want to design? Maybe I'll just use the same ship. No, I'm going to redesign it because we don't need that much delta V. We just need to get into orbit. And we'll go ahead and do a synchronous orbit, I think. It shouldn't be too hard. But I'll just make sure that we get this into orbit. We don't need to worry about the extra delta V. We just want it. It was up here, wasn't it? Yeah. We could probably just get rid of this whole center stage here. I think we can. So I'll just do this live real quick. Delete fairing. We'll take this off. We'll take these off. Put this here. How much delta V is that? Is that really 7,000? That's still overkill. And I know why it's overkill, because we took off all that extra weight for the nuclear stage. So we only need 1, 2, 3. Where is this stage? Stage 3. Right here. Well, what if we got rid of... I I guess these two. If I can reach it. What will that do? That'll be 4,000. Which is plenty. Alright. That'll save us $100,000 or so. We also don't need this rover on top. I mean, I guess it also acts as a satellite, but we don't need an extra satellite in there anyways. And I guess that's not a big issue. That this is the root part here of the whole ship. So let's go ahead and edit this down again because we don't need it that high. Like that. That should be fine. So we're at 6,000 delta V, which is still plenty. So that should be fine. So these two engines will fire, and then this will break off. And that's fine. Is this? Yeah, that's for Kerbal too. So we're going to use this to get into orbit. Took off another couple $1,000s there. And let's check this again. Can we save a bit of money somehow? Why don't we see if we could throw some parachutes up here and save. How much is this? If we took off this. Yeah, that's a good chunk of change. Do I want to worry about that? We'll try it. I don't know if it'll work. Why don't we go ahead and put these up here? Yeah. I think I used to do this before. I think we just need batteries that we'll put an antenna, but I think it has an internal antenna that should be fine. But just in case, let's get those in there, and then we'll fill it with parachutes and drogue chutes. So we'll do one. Why don't we do 4 for each of these? I have no idea what'll happen. If I can get in there. There we go. 4 of those, and we'll do 2 drogue chutes on each of these. And that should be okay. I mean, these will probably go out of render distance anyways and get lost. But we'll try. We'll see what happens. This will be... Yeah, we'll call it Eeloo mission. We need to make sure that all these parachutes are not in the first stage. So we can go ahead. Yeah, we'll change this. What is it called? Sets. That's fine. Save, launch. And we'll go ahead and try to get this into orbit. I'll do this live again, just for the first part. We'll do a little quick fast forward to get into space, but then once we decouple, we can join back. Why don't we? Yeah, let me plan this out a little bit, and then I'll figure out what to do. All right, I think what I'm going to do is just go for it. I put in the orbit altitude of 2863 kilometers, which is the synchronous orbit level. And yeah, why don't we just go for it, see what happens. Let me make sure that the volume is down on the game. Is that? Yeah, that's right. We can engage autopilot and go for launch. It still seems pretty loud. Like the same volume as my voice, basically. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this up. So this guy's going to aim for 2863 kilometers. And we should be okay way up there. And yeah, this thrust to weight ratio is very high, which is probably a little overkill, as long as we don't go too fast. And then these will launch off, and hopefully, actually, yeah, we're going too fast here. Are we? Or did you just tilt over on your own? You may have rolled over on your own. It's always a little worrisome, especially when the computer's taking care of it. Yeah, you're going way too fast. What can I do here? Limit acceleration of 40 meters per second squared. I don't know what your acceleration is right now. Oh well. So yeah, we kind of have to wait. Yeah, I guess those guys are gone. Can I switch? Oh, I can. Let's try to get the drogue chutes. There's a drogue chute. Is that both of them? Or one? Keep turning. There's the other one. Actually, those may be on the same side. You're still climbing. What are you gonna climb to? 60K? Alright, well, let's go back. Let's go to you, switch to... Alright, well, you're not going to make it to orbit. Or, you will make it to orbit, but you're not going to make it to the spot that we originally planned on. Drogue chutes says it can deploy, but that seems way too high. Let's switch to the other one. We'll do that same thing. Why don't we try the drogue chutes on one of them? And then the other one we can just wait until we're lower. So yeah, we'll just fast forward here. Wait until we start to descend again. You still have control, so we didn't need those antennas. They're not even deployed, so they're not doing anything. So yeah, you are... We want surface. Yeah, you're going too fast. Those are... Actually, those never deployed because the staging was a little bit messed up. How close are you guys together? There you are. 2.5 kilometers. So I guess that's still in range. I'm not sure what the range is. But you guys should be able to land. You are out of fuel, so that's a lot of the money there, but we should be able to get a good chunk of change back from you guys. So speed is 500, 600, 700. I don't know why I said 5. Maybe I thought 500 was like the magic number for the drogue chutes. There's those. There's those. Go ahead and get those out. And we'll fast forward this. You're still going way too fast. You landed, but you probably shouldn't have. We'll recover that vessel. Or are you gonna sink? Recover, recover, recover. There we go. I guess I thought you were still floating or something. So that could have been because we were fast forwarding, or it just was never going to make it. Zero science, of course. $7,000 back. Yeah, probably wasn't worth it. So we will go back to the tracking center, go find this guy, and we'll fly you. You should be the newest one at the bottom here. Yeah. Just want to make sure we have the right one. And we will go ahead and finish getting you into orbit and getting you at that correct elevation, or whatever you want to call it. So you're just going to continue right where you left off. That's kind of nice. So 500K, 600, and you're actually going to get into orbit just by doing this. Where are you going? Oh, no. Oh God, I just screwed everything up. It was just, can we go back? We didn't do a quick save, did we? I mean, we didn't. All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Yeah, what happened was, oh wow, this was our last quick save. Did we lose? Funds 2 million? That's not right. All right, let me figure this out. And we'll get back to where we were. Basically what happened was when I went back into the ship, when I left off, it was at full throttle. So when I came back, it was also at full throttle. But the autopilot here had disengaged, and I thought it was still engaged. But then once we reached like 3 million meters above Kerbal, I was like, something's wrong here. So I went to engage autopilot, and then it just did all sorts of staging. So, and then it blew up. Not really sure what happened. Year 2. Where'd we get all this money? This doesn't seem right. Actually, where are we at with the most, or the newest save up here? Year 2, day 279. Year 2, day 279. 22 flights, 3 contracts. 22 flights, 0 contracts. Let's try this one. Hopefully I don't have to redo those first 2 launches. Tracking center. What do we got? So, moon base was the last one. All right, well, I'm gonna redo those. And since we've already done them, I will go ahead and do that in between episodes. But for now, were these done? Science 486. Yeah, I think today's progress was just lost by doing that quick save reload. This is why you always quick save often. So I'll research this. I'll load those planes or those things back in. And actually, why don't we start, well, restart with the orbits of the new satellites we were going to do. So load that one. We're going to get rid of these. This is what screwed me up. Had I left that alone, it probably would have been fine. Use all the switching and saving, or not saving, lack of saving. And just really not paying attention. So those are all good. We can save that. We'll launch that. And we'll fast forward into orbit. And we can get these into geosynchronous orbit. Or I guess it'd just be regular synchronous orbit. Because I think geosynchronous means Earth orbit and not Kerbal. So, engage autopilot. We'll do the same number again, 2863. And disengage, engage. Limit acceleration. What is a good acceleration for this? Whatever. Go for it. So those are lit. You're going crazy. And I don't really know why. Now what's wrong? Alright, I'm going to figure this out. We will fast forward with this guy into orbit, and we can go ahead and finish off the episode with deploying the satellites in the correct spots. We are in synchronous orbit of Kerbal. We're at, what is it? 2.863 million meters above, which should be the correct orbit. It is circular, so it's not going to move, and it'll always face this side of the planet. But the only problem is all three of the satellite dishes are in that orbit. So what we're going to do is we're going to release one of these. I hope I set the ejection force to very low. We will decouple and hope that you don't shoot off. All right, good. So we'll switch to you. We can go ahead and turn you on. We would like to try and get you away from this. What's wrong? We will activate engine. Oh, there we go. So that's activated. We have 1,000 delta V with this thing, but we don't need that. Actually, we don't need any of it. But we'll go ahead and extend these solar panels. Not that we need this many, but we do have them. And that should be good. So we can leave that here. And we'll go ahead and just face the sun for now. Actually, you probably want to be facing away because this dish blocks the sun rays getting to the solar panels. So we could switch back again. And now, not that one. Now what we want to do is set up a new orbit for you guys. In 5 minutes, we're going to go out to think it's 114 million. So that'll bring us, is this gonna, it seems very, very high. Or is it just 14 million? No, it says 114. That's wrong. That can't be. Because what is this? 46? Alright, I'm going to have to do some math, and we'll figure out what the correct orbit is. So it's like 1/3 orbit. So when we go down and come back, we will launch our next satellite. So it'll be 1/3 away. 1/3 of the way around the circle, and then we can get those in place, and they will all communicate with each other, always have a view of Kerbal Space Center, and can always send out and receive data and get all the information we need back to the Space Center with some actually stronger satellite dishes. Okay, I did the math, and it looks like we want to be about 1,225 kilometers, which is 1 million, and yeah, those numbers. So let's add a maneuver. We're actually going to decelerate, if I can create the node correctly. So we want that to be 1,225,000. There we go, right about there. That's close enough. It'll be 170 meters per second. So we can go ahead and maneuver planner. We'll just pick that. Execute next node. So this will get us into the correct spot. The only issue is this is going to be floating around in space. I didn't really think of that. So maybe what I'll do, hopefully it doesn't aim right. No, it shouldn't. It should be fine. Is I'll get this close, keeping one of these satellites attached, and then I'll use the delta V from that satellite to get it back into the correct orbit. We'll do like a lower orbit or something, so it'll still be close to the satellites, but it won't actually ever hit. So you are almost there. You'll not really speed up too much. You'll do this burn, and we'll go ahead and burn. And then what'll happen is we'll do a 1 full orbit and come back, and then this guy will be 1/3 of the way, or is it 2/3? Probably 1/3 of the way. He'll be up here or over here. Probably over here. Yeah, he'll be over here. Then we can release a satellite here. We'll do it again, and then there will be a satellite here and a satellite here, and then we can release the third. So I'm going to go ahead and do a time lapse of that. We're going to cancel that because that's close enough. Yeah, that's totally fine. And yeah, we'll quickly get all these into place and get this all set up. All three in place. The orbits aren't perfect, but it doesn't really matter. What we can do is do, wow, there's a lot going on here. But you can see that we got one here, we got one here, and right here. Yeah, I mean, you can see the triangle here. But we'll go back to this. And what I did to kind of get rid of that other ship is, no, not that one. Okay, we're not close enough. But what I did is with the main engine, with the satellite still attached, I burned retrograde to get it underneath the atmosphere. And then with the satellites delta V, I did prograde, cost about 400 or so delta V to get back out. But we're never going to move these again, so it didn't really matter. And then this way we can kind of clear some debris out from orbit. So we'll switch to you, and we'll watch the map view and watch our satellites, and then we can watch you burn up. Since you have no control here, you have no probe cores, so you can't do anything. You can just kind of sit along for the ride. And I guess we'll just kind of watch everything go around. This isn't what I really planned on seeing, but that's all right. So we can just go ahead, speed you up, wait for you to get into orbit, and you're going to burn up in the atmosphere. So, yeah, I guess while we let this finish off and burn up, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode. In between episodes, I'm going to go ahead and launch that Eeloo and Jool mission, at least get them going in the right direction like we had them before I screwed everything up. And yeah, that'll do it for today. So if you liked today's episode, be sure to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed and don't want to miss any future episodes, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you for joining me. I will see you guys in the next episode.